Well, good morning there, everyone. It's Thursday, January the 27th in the year 2022. Hopefully this finds you doing outstanding. And this morning, routine's slightly different. See this? Actually, you can't read it, unless you can. Porter Memorial Library, 1893. And the other side says Machias, Maine. And this is from Maine when I lived there in the library. And I love going to libraries and reading. I've been to the library where I'm at now, got my library card and everything. Reading is great for the mind. You got to exercise the mind. So anyway, the reason I held this up, I am drinking a cup of coconut water. Had it in our fridge. The missus chopped up some coconuts yesterday. We got the coconut water with the white meat pieces in there. So got that. Excuse me. A little piece of coconut. So anyway, hopefully this finds you doing outstanding. This is going to be a slightly different kind of video. Let's see, this morning I just had the fence guy leave the house. I gave him a nice check. I rarely write checks anymore. I had put down like a $200 deposit down payment back in October, I think it was. Everything's backlogged here. Construction is like, it's backlogged. Finally, the guys will be here, the crew will be here today. So the owner came by, I gave him like a 50% down payment, and then upon completion of the job, I will pay the remainder balance. So that's what investing does. It helped me to build up the funds to help pay for a fence. They're not cheap. And everything I've had done, the folks have told me, if I had done this 2 years ago, it would have been cheaper. Like this fence is going to be, I don't know, $7,500, $8,000, not $8,000, $7,500. And if I had done it 2 years ago, maybe it'd be, I don't know, $5,500. Same for my dock that's coming. Hopefully the price doesn't adjust, but the estimate now is like 18 grand. And by the time they do it, will it be more? Will it be less? But if it had been 2 years ago, it might have been 12 grand. It's just our costs are up. Inflation is up. I think, on Millennial Mike's channel, I think it's his channel, not mine. Millennial Mike, Dominic Costeris, and myself, we gave a talk about inflation and how inflation can benefit the real estate investor. Inflation can also benefit, it's not just inflation too, it's supply and demand issues. Inflation also benefits the oil investor. It does not benefit the average consumer who does not invest. Okay? With the oil investment, I get emails in daily from my mineral rights guy. Excuse me, and he sent one this morning about being happy because oil hit $88 a barrel, which the higher the price of oil is, the more revenue folks who own mineral rights, the more royalty they get, or revenue, whatever it is. Same for the oil drilling company. It's two different companies. You can go back and watch the interview I did with Tom with King Operating Corporation, and he'll talk about potential returns and stuff. That's the oil drilling company. The mineral rights company, they're one of several organizations, individuals that have said they can't interview or appear on my channel until I get bigger because I'm just too small. They're busy. I understand. A lot of people are busy. Like one big name, she's going to come to my channel, hint, she, and we're scheduled, I think, for March 30th or something like that. And I lined it up, 2 weeks ago, maybe a week ago. So it's like certain people in society are busy. Everyone though, is not busy. All right. We have a situation now in this country where less people are working than before. Okay. And there's a variety of reasons. There's not just one reason for it. There's a variety of reasons. We have a combination of a certain segment of society because of the pandemic that was going on. They may have been a mom who decided to stay home with her young kids, because of childcare issues and stuff. Things were shut down. Maybe they found they liked that. Okay, there might be senior citizens who would normally be working a part-time job somewhere, but now they're worried about their health, so they're not working. They could be the younger generation who just seems compared to when I was a teenager. I started working when I was like 12, 13 years old. I started cutting grass. I wanted to earn money, to pay. I grew up, we didn't have a lot of money. I wanted to earn something, so I had some money. So I remember cutting grass. I was probably 12. I remember cutting my neighbor's bushes. I remember they were on vacation. I cut their lawn a couple times. I worked on horse farms. I mucked stalls. I creosoted fences. I worked in a senior citizen home, whatever you call it, old folks home. I was a waiter. I did that for a period of time until the guy in charge called me in one time and said if I didn't cut my hair, I'd have to wear a hairnet. And I said, I'm not wearing a hairnet. And he said, well, if you don't cut your hair, you can't work here. And I said, fine, here's my notice. I'm leaving. I worked for several different nurseries, meaning plant companies. I worked as a young guy. When I worked landscaping, I became after about a year and a half or so of cutting grass, planting trees, doing this and that, they asked me if I would be the nursery manager, just oversee the nursery. I'd help customers when they came in. I know I had, who was it? I grew up in Maryland, and I was an Orioles fan. And I think it was Al Bunbury. Al Bunbury was center fielder on the Orioles. I think it was him. He came to the nursery and bought some plants. We had a landscape architect, and he had met him, and Mr. Bunbury came out. Al Bunbury, we met him again years later with my youngest son. We got a picture of my youngest son sitting on his lap at I think it was at an Orioles stadium somewhere, I can't remember for sure now. Might have been a minor league stadium. But anyway, talking about the Orioles just a bit. There is a period of time, I'd have to Google it to see the exact years, but there was a 25-year period when the Baltimore Orioles baseball team had the best record in Major League Baseball over a 25-year period. It was something like 1965 to 1990, something like that, 64 to 89, something like that. 25 years they were the best team in baseball. During that period, the Orioles played in the World Series in 1966, 1969, 1970, 1971, 1979, 1983. Okay, they made it back to the playoffs in 2012, I think it was. But also in 1988, they are known to have the worst start in baseball. It might have been broken by now, but it was like 0 wins, 21, 22, 23 losses, something like that. Terrible start. But the reason I bring them up, they were one of the best organizations in baseball back when I was a kid. I was a kid in the 70s, teenager in the 80s, born in the late 60s. They were the best team in baseball back then. They had a great organization, great players. But then something happened. Things changed, just like everything. Everything's cyclical. Things change. But now they're coming back. They had one of the worst records in baseball last year. But they do play in what is known to be the hardest division in baseball. It's New York Yankees, Boston Red Sox, Toronto Blue Jays, Tampa Rays, I think they call themselves now. I think that's the teams in there. So it's one of the toughest, the hardest, not one of the toughest, it's the hardest. Look at their records. They're the best division in baseball. So the Orioles happen to play in that division. But right now, if you look at Masson Sports, read two writers, Rock Cabato and Steve Molesky or something like that, who have written extensively on the Orioles minor league system. The Orioles have revamped their minor league systems. They have, and it's been a 4-year process, I think. But right now, they are stacked. Down lower, they are stacked. Major League, there's rankings of minor league systems, and the Orioles are ranked by two different organizations. I think they're number 1 and number 2, something like that for two different organizations, for the depth of theirs from going down to the lowest level, coming up to the highest level. They have a catcher who's ranked number 1. He, if baseball is played this year, may start April 1st, thereabouts, or he may come like May 1st, because in baseball, they got messed up rules. And if he was to start in April, if they don't change the rules, because there's a lockout right now, if they don't change the rules, he loses it. It counts as a year of service time. And the Orioles he could potentially become a free agent a year sooner. If they wait till May to bring him up, they get him for another year, let's say, before he can go become a free agent. That sort of thing. But once he's there, the team, then you have Grayson Rodriguez. He's a pitcher. He's the highest ranked pitcher in the minor league baseball system. Then you also got another pitcher, left-handed pitcher in, I think, the top 10. Then you got like a shortstop, and you got outfielders, and you got a variety of players going down. And the Orioles have made a big presence in international signings. So there's a lot of international players they've signed. And on and on and on. So I'm not saying the Orioles are going to have if they play this year, I'm not saying they're going to have a great season. But I will go out on record, on a limb, and say I pretty much guarantee, I never guarantee, that they will do much better than they did last year. You will start seeing glimmers of hope. You will probably see some budding superstars. And baseball, it's a good sport to follow. I know from back in the 70s and early 80s when it was, was it baseball, hot dogs, apple pie, and Chevrolet, something like that. Baseball has kind of lost its luster. It's gone down. Basketball is more fast-paced. It's gone up. Football's gone up. But, if you look at the sports, they all have their issues. But if you look at the quality of players, they all have their issues. But it just seems like baseball has a better, as a whole, I'm generalizing, quality humans that are playing in the sport to generalize. It's like when my boys ran in high school. The cross-country team for fall sports would usually have the highest GPA for high school students or the golf team. Because cross-country running and golf got more of the folks who were doing well in school. But everyone has the potential to do well in school. It's just so many kids are misdirected, misguided. But everyone has the potential to do well in school. Everyone has the potential to do well in life and investing. Everyone has the potential to be a great investor. Okay? So we're going to wrap it up with that. Not a whole lot of investing talk in this one. I just want to break things up a bit, catch up on a few things, talk a little bit about the Orioles. I'll be back tomorrow and I'll have a guest tomorrow. I have more guests that are coming. I've started to reach out to, I've gotten through my first tier and I'm moving on to another tier, another level, let's say. But I want to interview, and I'm just saying things, I'm not trying to make any kind of comment there about tiers. Okay, I would love to interview everybody. I'd love to have a variety of people on my channel. I like to have non-investors, investors, high-level investors, low-level investors, newbies that are starting out, people that are scared of investing. I like to bring in people, representatives. I need to contact the Motley Fool, see if I can get one of them to appear on the channel about stock investing. Okay, I want to bring one of them in. Real estate folks, I want to bring more in. Oil folks, mineral rights folks, bring them in. Maybe I'll get a wine investor coming, to appear one day, or an art investor or something like that. And a text just came in. I got another person that says they will appear on my channel as a guest. So I appreciate that. So, all right, y'all take care. As always, stay safe in all you do. Stay safe in all you do. Once the crew gets here, I'll be chit-chatting with them, watch them dig some holes in my yard. And it's a 2-day project. They'll start today. They're not getting here till midday because they had to go get the materials and whatnot. And then, just reading a text, sorry. And then they will finish up probably tomorrow. And city inspector will come out on Monday to do an inspection. So, all right, y'all take care. Mazske is signing out.